Hold on to your hats, folks, because the trade winds have shifted and they smell a lot like, well, tariffs. That's right, Donald Trump is back and he's brought his favorite economic weapon with him. On January 31st, 2025, Trump signed an executive order that slapped new tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico and China. This wasn't just a light sprinkle either. This was a full-blown tariff tsunami. Trump's new tariffs targeted a wide range of goods. Canada got hit with a 10% tariff on aluminum and steel, while Mexico saw a 15% tariff on automotive parts. China, never one to be left out of Trump's trade war crosshairs, got slapped with a whopping 20% tariff on electronics and textiles. But wait, there's more. These new tariffs came hot on the heels of even broader tariffs announced just days earlier. We're talking 25% on most goods from Canada and Mexico, and a still hefty 10% on goods from China. So, what's the reason for this sudden trade war redux? Well, according to Trump, it's all about security. He claims these tariffs are necessary to stop the flow of fentanyl and undocumented immigrants into the United States. Now, you might be thinking, don't most of those things come from our southern border? And you'd be right. But hey, why let facts get in the way of a good tariff war? Right, the really baffling part, Trump is targeting Canada and Mexico, two of our closest allies and trading partners. These are countries we share a continent with, for crying out loud. They're practically family. Well, except when it comes to trade, apparently, because in Trump's world, everyone's a threat to American jobs and security, even our closest friends. Unsurprisingly, Canada, Mexico and China weren't exactly thrilled about being on the receiving end of Trump's tariff tantrum. They didn't just sit back and take it either. Oh no, they came back swinging with retaliatory measures of their own. Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, usually known for his calm demeanor, didn't mince words. He called out Trump's tariffs for what they were, an attack on Canadian workers and businesses. Trudeau announced retaliatory tariffs on $155 billion worth of American goods, hitting back at everything from alcohol and produce to appliances. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum was equally unimpressed with Trump's actions. She denounced his allegations of criminal ties and promised a firm response. While the details were still being worked out, she made it clear that Mexico wouldn't be bullied. China, meanwhile, took a more measured approach, at least publicly. They announced their intention to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization, arguing that Trump's tariffs violated international trade rules. But behind the scenes, you can bet they were plotting their next move. China has a long memory and they don't take kindly to being pushed around. The reaction from the international community was swift and largely negative. Even some of Trump's usual allies expressed concern about the economic fallout from a full-blown trade war. Economists warned that these tariffs would lead to higher prices for consumers, disrupt global supply chains, and could even tip the world into a recession. The stock market, that fickle beast, reacted to Trump's tariffs with all the predictability of a caffeinated squirrel. Share prices for companies that rely heavily on imports, like those in the automotive and electronics industries, tumbled like acrobats who'd forgotten their safety nets. The US dollar, usually a beacon of stability in uncertain times, started doing the currency equivalent of a drunken conga line, fluctuating wildly as investors tried to figure out what the hell was going on. Meanwhile, economists were busy running around like Chicken Little, warning that the sky was about to fall on our collective economic heads. They predicted that Trump's tariffs would lead to a spike in inflation as businesses passed on the increased costs of imported goods to consumers. Remember that time you thought about buying a new car? Well, get ready to add a few $1,000s to the sticker price thanks to those shiny new tariffs on steel and aluminum. And that new smartphone you've been eyeing? Yeah, that's going to cost more too, thanks to those tariffs on electronics. And let's not forget about all the everyday essentials that rely on global supply chains, like food and clothing. Those prices are likely to go up as well, hitting consumers right in their wallets. But the economic pain wouldn't be limited to consumers. Businesses, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, would also feel the pinch. The tariffs would disrupt supply chains, making it more difficult and expensive for businesses to get the materials and products they need. This could lead to production delays, job losses, and a general slowdown in economic activity. So here we are again, folks, knee-deep in another trade war orchestrated by none other than Donald J. Trump. It's like Groundhog Day, but instead of a charming rodent predicting the weather, we have a tariff-wielding president throwing the global economy into chaos. The short-term consequences are clear. Higher prices, disrupted supply chains, and a whole lot of economic uncertainty. But the long-term effects are much harder to predict. Will these tariffs achieve their stated goal of protecting American jobs and security? Or will they simply drive up costs for consumers, hurt businesses, and damage our relationships with key allies? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure, we're in for a bumpy ride. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because it's going to be a wild one.